वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराना श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीर धारी कृपाम्बुदीर्य तमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम् वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Warm welcome everyone in the study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday we did till chapter 18, text 77. Today at some point we should enter into text 78, the last text in Bhagavad Gita. And let's see, overall, throughout the prayer has been, or at least we try to pray, that it be Krishna inspired, Krishna divine. Like, see, there's one thing, two things in life. One is what? Coincidence. All of us would have heard this word, no? Coincidence. Phil, no, no, you know, coincidence. So, what do we say coincidence in Hindi? Is there a word in Hindi for coincidence?
Yeah, we say ittefaq.
Uh, what do you say, Prakhar?
इत्तेफाक.
Ittafaq. Yeah. So one thing is Sanjog. Yeah, Sanjog is very nice. Sanjog. Ittafaq, Sanjog. Generally can say Tukka also, na, or this chance or uh, so coincidence. So one thing is coincidence. Another is what? Krishna incidence. And actually, when we see na, when we are in tune with Krishna consciousness, we'll find everything is Krishna incidence only. Hmm. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, na? Supreme controller. So when there is a supreme controller, all capable, almighty personality, how can things be just ittefaq or sanjog or coincidence? For us, it is like coincidence because we have a limited vision, we have a limited knowledge. But God is unlimited. And when we are in tune, in connection with God, only then we can be unlimited, say, hmm, by His grace, by His mercy. Uh, See, things make sense to us. What? In hindsight, things make sense. For many, even in hindsight, it doesn't make sense. हाँ? Hindsight meaning पीछे मुड़ के देखो तो पता चलता है. For many, even in hindsight, looking back at life, or 5 years back or 10 years back, such person came in my life or such event came in my life, and this is where I am because of him, because of her, or because of this, or because of that, or good or bad, whichever way. Hmm. But when we are again in situated firmly in Krishna consciousness, things will make in hindsight, things will make in the sense in the present, and the future will also be all very glorious. That sense. So in life, for someone, say non-believer, everything is coincidence. But us practicing Krishna consciousness, na, we should not see things as coincidence. For us, genuinely, everything is Krishna incidence. The whole practice of Krishna consciousness is what? To transfer our karmic account. Hmm. We are heavy under heavy karma, all of us, tremendous heavy karma. Heavy desires, baggage of karma, subconscious mind impressions, sub impressions we are carrying. So, the entire practice of Krishna consciousness based on devotee association is what? To transfer our karmic account from the hands of Lord Brahma to the lotus hands of Lord Shri Krishna. And then in that transferring, when it is transferred, then everything is Krishna incidence. Until transferred, everything is like coincidence. And we don't want to live like coincidence. It's very tricky, dangerous, no? Don't know ups and downs what may happen. Krishna incidence is best. Thrill, charm, and all good. And blessed are those who are unentangled. Blessed. Blessed are those souls who are unentangled in life. And through this dialogue, Krishna is making Arjuna unentangled. Look at the fascination. Na? Bhagavad Gita spoken in a battlefield, in a war. Huh? Such a entangling situation. Na? Is it not such an entangling? In this war, army, medical will be there, of course, medical support, food, and the sanitation, toilets, everything there for animals, their food, their looking after doctors, everything. Now it's so much of a logistics and management involved, and through this dialogue, Krishna is making Arjuna completely unentangled. There is a huge difference in life. Difference of sky high, as they say. What? Difference in real and apparent. If we can always keep this in our consciousness, na, the difference between real and apparent. Apparently, it looks like Arjuna is very entangled. Apparently, that okay, he's in a war, so many soldiers, so many days, so many logistics, management, all of this. Huh? So apparently, it looks like very entangled from all angles. But through this dialogue of Krishna consciousness, in reality, Krishna is freeing Arjuna, has made him completely unentangled. Likewise, in our lives, when we practice Krishna consciousness, apparently it will seem that we are so entangled. But through the practice of Krishna consciousness, we can become very unentangled. Hmm. Through the practice of Krishna consciousness, we can come to a state wherein we are living in this world, but we are not of this world. Uh, We are here, but we are not belonging here, say. We are not of this realm, say. So, through this dialogue, Krishna is freeing Arjuna, completely unentangling him. And again, the teachings, na, Bhagavad Gita again can be summarized like these three shlokas 18, 64, 65, 66. Three shloki, everything is given. uh, And Arjuna's doubts and everything revealed. Look, Krishna did not take away his fighting spirit, his Kshatriya role, Kshatriya spirit. Rather, he gave him engagement and protected his Atma Dharma altogether. The Dharma of Atma is to love and serve Krishna unconditionally. Now, spirituality. Now, what is spirituality? Spirituality essentially, call it spirituality, call it meditation, call it yoga. Essentially, it is to be happy. Hmm? Happy. And happy what? Not just for the day or not just while doing it. Kind of always happy, ever happy, or at least to come to a no complaint zone or prepare ourselves coming to a no complaint zone. Now, Arjuna, he has come through this dialogue to a no complaint zone. Now, spirituality means what? Engaging ourselves in an activity, engaging ourselves through our body, words, mind. These are the faculties through which in which we engage, right? Through our body, words, mind, speech, action, and all. So fully engaging our thoughts, desires in such an activity where when I do it, I find joy, and when I do it more, I find even newer and higher joy. And if I'm not actually doing it, whatever else is happening in life, it is not pulling me down. I'm not affected by it. Yeah, I'm not pulled down by it. That is essentially spirituality. Yeah. It could be anything, whatever we do, if it makes us happy and then continuously happy. So, like alcohol consumption, na, it makes people happy. Yes, it gives some, say, chemical boost or it makes people happy, but it does not keeps them happy. Making one thing happy is one thing, right? Oh, this makes me happy. But does it keeps me happy? That is another thing. So, making happy, okay, there are many things which make us happy. But what is it that sustainably keeps us happy? That is spirituality. That is Krishna consciousness. Irrespective of other things happening in our life, we'll find a firm stability. Now, take this. Bhagavad Gita, this dialogue, Krishna consciousness, and let us know if you ever experienced this. And what are, say, in life situations where one actually experiences this. I will share some thoughts. You also give some examples. Now, look at the emotion what Arjuna is going through. Is it not Arjuna's emotions throughout from first chapter till 18th chapter here? Arjuna is experiencing what? Crying and smiling at the same time. Crying meaning literal tear, literal crying, and smile, literal smiling at the same time. Now, how many of us have experienced this? Cry and smile at the same time. So we have Phil here. Yes, Phil. Like, for examples. So, sure. And what could be the occasion? What could be the reason for it? Yeah, true, 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 true. Like, say, no, for a mother seeing her child go to school, cry and smile at the same time. For a mother seeing seeing her child pass from university, cry and smile at the same time. No? For a mother, for a parent seeing their daughter or son getting married, cry and smile at the same time. Finding a job. There are many such things in life. Cry and smile at the same time. But all such things is I struggle to understand, do they actually keep us happy? Do they actually, spirituality meditation means coming to a platform wherein there is no complaints, no remorse, no regrets. We cannot move ahead in life if I am carrying complaints, if I'm carrying regrets, if I'm carrying remorse. So Arjuna is experiencing throughout cry and smile at the same time, throughout. And this we will experience, realize in the practice of Krishna consciousness. And through this practice of Krishna consciousness, through practically application of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna consciousness, and engaging ourselves in mantra meditation, in japa, chanting the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, on beats, uh, we will experience this, and we'll come to a stage of a no complaint zone. We have to enter that stage, and we'll realize what we should meditate on this. Personally, I like this thinking on this. What is the difference between information, knowledge, and wisdom? There is a difference. There's a big difference. Information, knowledge, and wisdom. The world is stuck where? At the level of information. The world is largely stuck at information level, driven by information. And in practice of Krishna consciousness, we don't want to be driven by information, in the sense the last this the last name Krishna calls for Arjuna is what in Bhagavad Gita Krishna calls Dhananjaya. Hmm? And the last name Arjuna responds for Krishna is Achyuta. Hmm? So we just don't want to be hung up with this at the level of information. Haribol! Hare Krishna, Lister. So we don't want to be stuck up ourselves at the level of information. Now transcend, go beyond information at the level of knowledge. And wisdom, na? Wisdom, mm, at least I shouldn't try much to define wisdom. Wisdom is so sacred, so pure, so sweet. Something which is so sacred like love. I shouldn't even attempt to define or put it in words as such. It is not good. Love is something anirvachanya, as in inexplicable. Hmm. Wisdom also very sacred, very pure. So in a way, realized knowledge, transcendental knowledge, realized knowledge, experience knowledge, practical knowledge. That's like wisdom. So now Arjuna is going through information, knowledge, and now participating in this war. He is becoming wise altogether. And this is sheer humility of Arjuna. His love and humility is just demonstrated when he responded to Krishna saying, Karisya vachanam tava, that I will carry out your orders, I will do as you say. He never said that I will fight. Throughout, Krishna inspired him to fight. Hmm? But he did not respond saying, Yes, I will fight now. Rather, he responded, I will do whatever you want me to do, not just fighting. So life does not end now for Arjuna. It was not just about the war. eh. He said na in second chapter itself that what shreyastam, whatever is eternally good for me, tell me that. So Arjun, this is how we should also um, imbibe or take in the teachings of Krishna consciousness of Bhagavad Gita for eternity altogether. So love is demonstrated to surrender. Without surrender, no love. Hmm? Love encompasses humility altogether. Humility. So it is the sheer humility of Arjuna. Look, coming out of his comfort zone. First, he did not want to fight. Krishna, he had this dialogue. Then he agreed not just to fight, to do overall whatever Krishna desires. To fulfill Krishna desires, he fought, and that is his sheer humility coming out of his comfort zone. And that is what we should be doing. And when we prepare ourselves like this, we will find lots and lots of joy. Hmm. Again, we do not practice Krishna consciousness as such for peace of mind or for joy. Actually, Mahaprabhu's teachings, Krishna consciousness, even lofty vision of Krishna consciousness is what? To cater to the joy of Krishna. And Arjuna is doing that, fighting why? To cater to the joy of Krishna. The overall practice of Krishna consciousness is to free ourselves from any iota of self obsession. Any iota of self obsession. So, any questions? Yeah, okay. Will you go? And Renas, then maybe I'm just a bit seeing time. Although from chapter 18, text 54, the mood changes. And see the level, mood, all changes. But yeah, Renas will again just see 74 to 78 little bit translations and then some videos and then we'll continue. Okay, but Pip has a question in the meantime.
Hare Krishna, yeah. Thank you very much. Because I'm thinking, describe then, when we hear that Krishna, God, is invoking somebody to fight, then why is that? How can we understand that?
So is this the question? Why is God invoking someone to fight? Why is God putting someone to fight and all? Okay. See, in I like this one. Fifth, Renas, share screen Bhagavad Gita 5:15. 5:15 is very good. The translation should yeah, a bit answer your question, and purport also, tremendous purport. See, Krishna never induces or engages as such us directly in this. Also, even though sitting as Paramatma, he's guiding us, helping us, and this is how he's doing this for our benefit only. Hmm. So, okay, what's the translation? Alistair, would you be okay reading translation? Just the translation bit. Okay, Rajshri,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll still read translation.
Wait, sorry, did you ask me to read Prabhu?
Yes, just the translation.
Translation, okay. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge.
Yeah. Reina, scroll down a bit in the purport. There's one sentence, amazing, I love it, Prabhupada writes in the purport. What does he say? Desire. You see this one here, it is. Yeah, Renas, just go little bit up. Yeah, that's there. Okay. So you see, mm, okay. Yeah, Renas, you can stay here. Desire is a subtle form of conditioning for the living entity. Very subtle, very subtle form of conditioning, desire. So anyway, in response, if we do not engage, participate in this world, the world will go into chaos, ruination. Krishna himself says, na, if he does not participate, the world will go into chaos and ruination. We all need some engagement. So he's by inducing or invoking, say, Arjuna to fight, he's rather helping him that perform your duty. Na? Look, so many, even like Draupadi, the chaste, loyal Draupadi, and she was so badly treated, very unfairly treated in the assembly of all those kings. Now, if this Krishna does not say, induce Arjuna, invoke Arjuna to fight, will Duryodhan, will he look after women, will he look after children, will he look after Brahmanas and all? No. So this Krishna consciousness is not like a pseudo mentality, or it's not like a sort of in the name of secularism. Although it is completely non-sectarian and everything, but it's not like just to be politically correct or anything like that. Now, okay, no, don't fight. There's no gray area. There's no gray area in the message of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna, he's invoking or inducing or helping Arjuna to fight in order to protect his Kshatriya dharma, his warrior spirit, his warrior nature, his warrior duty. Hmm? And by doing that, Arjuna agreeing, he's protecting even more his Atma dharma, his soul duty, which is to love and serve Krishna. Hmm? Although God never forces or induces, he never forces as such, but yes, he gives us directions or indications, that okay, this is might be good, traverse this, and you want to check this, check that, and this is all for our benefit. If see, if God doesn't do, won't it be injustice on us? If Krishna does not guide Arjuna, if Krishna does not induce or say, just leaves him, won't it be irresponsible part, say? Hmm? And if Krishna directly comes and tells also, that also not good. Why? Because then God, you are forcing upon yourself in me. This is why Krishna does not deal us with us directly conditioned souls. How does he deal with the conditioned soul? As Paramatma, as Lord residing in the heart, gives us indications and all. Later on, you can check further this 515, the translation purport, and elsewhere also in Bhagavad Gita 322 and some places. Yeah? He induces us residing as Paramatma in our heart, hmm? Giving us directions. Why? Because we are so rebellious, na? If God comes in person to us, we are so rebellious, uncultured, uncivilized, misbehaving, we would, and especially this Iron Age people, we would want to insult him and say, "Oh no, no, I'm too busy." We'll try to mock him. Yeah? So until and unless we strike a relationship, we take into the practice of Krishna consciousness, he's from far. But devotees are even more kinder. Even though we mock, still they want to be friends. They still want to hold us. Still they want to tolerate all our uncultured behavior, uncivilized behavior. They take that extra step. They go further. And then they help us. And when a sadhaka, especially one who has taken Guru Padashra as in initiation, then he is driven from inside. Why? Not Paramatma as such, but by his Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, directly driven, depending on his faith, on one's faith. As we started, now there are two things in life. What? Coincidence and Krishna incidents. One thing is coincidence. The whole world is stuck up in coincidence. Good coincidence, bad coincidence, or let this coincidence by chance, by luck, and all. But a sadhaka, a practicing Krishna conscious devotee, he doesn't want to rely on coincidence. What has coincidence got to do with? Hmm? He wants to be Krishna incidents altogether. Hmm? So that now this is all Krishna encouraging him for his benefit now, and Krishna is telling you just be an instrument. Everything is set. You just be an instrument. And if he doesn't do, then It is kind of he's not doing a good favor on Arjuna otherwise then. So this way, sitting as Paramatma, he's guiding, helping. But now that Arjuna has surrendered, Krishna is directly speaking with him. And to us also, he speaks directly, Bhagavad Gita or through spiritual master, the via transparent medium. Does this answer your question?
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Renaissance screen 1874 till 77. We'll just read translations. And then Renus has got some videos lined up for us to watch. So we'll see them videos as well. But just translations will do, Renus, huh? Okay, Anuja read translation 74, Harsha 75, Rajshri 76, and Alistair
Sanjay
can read
said,
77.
Sanjay said, Thus have I heard the conversation of two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end.
Harsha, can you read?
By the mercy of Vyasa, I've heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna.
Rajshri.
O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure, being thrilled at every moment.
Alistair read next.
O king, I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna. I'm struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again.
Yeah, beautiful. So this is Sanjay again glorifying. Sanjay, I mean, how could one shy away or how could one not respond, say? So Sanjay, he has been blessed with divine vision and he's sitting elsewhere with the king, Dhritarashtra. And he's been blessed with divine vision to see the live happenings, the live dialogue, what is going on in the war. And he's witnessing the live dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, and he's relaying it to the king Dhritarashtra. And now see, in further addition to Pip's question, like Sanjay, he's getting goosebumps and he's getting hair standing on end out of joy, not out of stress. But the king Dhritarashtra, who doesn't like Krishna, who doesn't like the Pandavas, and who is very self-obsessed, who is heavily self-obsessed, who is in deep ignorance, and who is all about I, me, and mine. His heart is not able to penetrate at all. Although Sanjay is telling him all of this, but no. Hmm? So this change has to come from within. The change has to come from within. Now in here again, as we were seeing yesterday, one may ask, na, such our Kali Yuga is souls, na, we are Iron Age souls, and we think ourselves to be very smart, or we think we have very good logics, and we think we have nailed him down. Or by this logic, surely this must be wrong. Surely spirituality, or it's all myth and all. Huh? Oh, I've got him nailed down. I got that Hare Krishna nailed down. I got that Christian guy nailed down. I got that Muslim guy nailed down, and all like that. So in order to help build our faith, Renus will show us one or two videos or two or three videos. So Renus, whenever you're ready, show us some video. Renus will nail us down now. Yeah. Because one may naturally ask, na, that how come this Sanjay Pulche, na? Sanjay is able to see, and this is like Sanjay is sitting somewhere thousands of kilometers away, and Krishna and Arjuna are having a dialogue, and he's able to all see. Hmm? In a Okay, let's see what Raina shows now.
Superhumans are out there. Prepare to meet them.
I'm a human ear bender. I bend air and I form it into sound that explodes and ignites. That's what I do. That's Kenny Muhammad. That's the human orchestration for you.
Kenny Muhammad is said to be one of the planet's greatest beatboxers and has earned himself the title, the Human Orchestra. By blending his unique sounds with the classical power of a real orchestra, Kenny's worked with renowned composers to break musical boundaries. But it's hard to comprehend how a human can produce such a staggering array of sounds. I want to know if the way Kenny creates this powerful music is superhuman. I've called in Langdon Crawford, a music technologist from NYU, to help me discover how this is humanly possible.
If you wouldn't mind just recording a 30-second or less example of your work.
Okay.
We have so many layers of instruments going on here. We have an entire drum kit. We have something that looks like record scratching. He played the trumpet and violin sounds. I mean, how many instruments do you need to have before someone calls you an orchestra, you know?
The variety of instrumental sound effects Kenny can generate is remarkable, but there's something else that's caught Langdon's eye.
I noticed there were some really fast timings happening there. What is that you're doing there?
It's a snare and a hi-hat.
I've selected just two of those hits, and let's see if we can loop those. So this is 93 milliseconds between the beginning of this hit and the beginning of the next hit. So he's getting more than 10 hits in a second.
How's Kenny able to do that?
You know, that actually fascinates me, because our whole system operates at 20 frames per second, if you will. So he's operating so fast that if he were just to play a little bit faster, it would start blurring together into a continuous sound. I'm not sure that anyone else could do this. I think Kenny is pushing the limits of what is humanly possible.
Haribol! Where'd you get these videos from, Renas, I wonder? Okay, Renas, bring us something else. You have something else also to show us, huh? And then we'll see. How is it humanly possible? How can a human being do all of this? Doesn't it arouse so much of wonder and charm and like, wow, crazy, insane, or yeah? Let's see what Renas has got further.
It's rumored that Machi-san has taken hand-eye coordination beyond every other human on Earth. He claims to be able to cut a speeding bullet in midair. So we've come to a firing range outside the hills of LA to see if it's true. This is the size of the pellet Machi-san would try to slice with his sword.
I honestly don't believe I could cut this if it was stationary on a chopping block with a chef knife. He's going to do it while it's flying through the air with a samurai sword.
Not only is the pellet tiny, over 4,000 times smaller than a baseball, but when it leaves the barrel of the BB gun, it's traveling over 200 miles per hour. A normal person would have no chance of seeing the pellet. So we're using a slow-motion camera to slow the action down by 250 times. And helping me is Dr. Ramani Durvasula.
Okay, we're ready, Kay.
Kay is going to fire the pellet at Machi-san from a distance of 70 feet.
I didn't see it.
I saw a flash. The blade went by. All right,
Now
we're
let's
gonna play
see.
back.
Let's
We're
see
gonna
what
play
this is
back.
about.
Using the slow motion camera, I want to see if Machi-san has achieved the superhuman.
Oh man!
Wow.
Oh, you can see the
It's
piece
just a
go one
slice.
way and the other one go that way.
That's
That was amazing.
But how does Dr. Romani explain what she's just witnessed?
This is about processing at an entirely different sensory level because he's not visually processing. This is a different level of anticipatory processing, something so procedural, something so fluid for him.
A normal person would take 3/10 of a second just to register the sound of the gun being fired before they can even start to think about reacting. By the time they move the sword into position, the pellet would have traveled past them.
I think, yep, this is the one. You can see the little nick in it. This tiny little thing, the nick he took out with a sword. This is absolutely superhuman.
Haribol! How were these two videos? Yesterday also we saw two videos, right? Reena, Sanuja, Harsha, Alistair, Pip, Prakhar, Rajshri. Reena, have you got one more video? Okay, so see, thing is, now all watching all of this, definitely it invokes a lot of charm, right? Uh, yeah, very absorbing and still, it involves such a lot of charm, inquisitiveness, and like it takes our attention, definitely. And like Anuja is saying, still trying to absorb. Yeah, it takes a lot for us to absorb this and overwhelms us. Thing is, now Sanjay is able to see this thousands of miles away in a room, in a closed room, huh? In a closed seminar room, say. He's able to see this and he's able to relay this to the king, live commentary without any like 3D vision glasses or anything like satellite or any box TV or Netflix or no. He's able to do it. So it's not like we have this thing, no? Okay, faith is means what? Okay, is for the weak or generally kind of okay who is in stress or trouble. Okay, this is for them, you know. But my thing is, how do you explain what that samurai person was doing or what that Kennedy was doing? And yesterday we saw John and Scott what they were doing. How do you possibly explain all of this? Thing is, we can it is foolish to attempt to conceive the inconceivable. It is foolish. Ah, now, the inconceivable can only be conceived by his own sweet will, by his only by his mercy. Sanjay was able to get this. Arjuna was also able to receive the message of Krishna consciousness only by the mercy of Krishna. He appealed for the mercy, he petitioned for the mercy, and mercies throughout he was able to receive that message of Krishna consciousness. Krishna spoke not with his tongue, more so say with his heart. Hmm? Arjuna received the message not through his ears, rather actually in his heart or through his ears proper. Likewise, so the faith is very important. So now Renus will take us into the last sloka of Srimad Bhagavad Gita 1878. Thing is, faith is very important. Faith is important in every walk of life. And we shouldn't just dare or just attempt to uh, kind of in a process wise define or something which is inconceivable. There's more to life than meets the eye. So in the practice of Krishna consciousness, faith is required to begin with. Faith is required to, there is no end. Faith is required to throughout carry on. Um, So we see now, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Okay, Harsha, read translation. And purport, everyone will read in turns, hopefully. Let's see. Harsha, read translation.
Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion.
Anuja, read first paragraph.
The Bhagavad Gita began with an inquiry of Dhritarashtra's. He was hopeful of the victory of his sons, assisted by great warriors like Bhishma, Drona, and Karna. He was hopeful that the victory would be on his side. But after describing the scene on the battlefield, Sanjaya told the king, "You are thinking of victory, but my opinion is that where Krishna and Arjuna are present, there will be all good fortune." He directly confirmed that Dhritarashtra could not expect victory for his side. Victory was certain for the side of Arjuna because Krishna was there. Krishna's acceptance of the post of charioteer for Arjuna was an exhibition of another opulence. Krishna is full of all opulences, and renunciation is one of them. There are many instances of such renunciation, for Krishna is also the master of renunciation.
Rajshri, read next. Okay, Prakhar, read.
The fight was actually between Duryodhan and Yudhishthira. Arjuna was fighting on behalf of his elder brother Yudhishthira because Krishna and Arjun were on the side of Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira's victory was certain. The battle was to decide who would rule the world, and Sanjay predicted that the power would be transferred to Yudhishthira. It is also predicted that here that Yudhishthira, after gaining victory in the battle, would flourish more and more because not only was he righteous and pious, but he was also a strict moralist. He never spoke a lie during his life.
Yeah. Phil, read.
Less intelligent persons who take Bhagavad Gita to be a discussion of topics between two friends on a battlefield. But such a book could not be scripture. Some may protest that Krishna incited Arjuna to fight, which is immoral, but the reality of the situation is clearly stated. Bhagavad Gita is the supreme instruction in morality. The supreme instruction of morality is stated in the 9th chapter, in the 34th verse. Man, mana, bhava, and bhakta. One must become a devotee of Krishna, and the essence of our religion is to surrender unto Krishna. The instructions of Bhagavad Gita constitute the supreme process of religion and morality. All other processes may be purifying and may lead to this process. But the last instruction of the Gita is the last words in all morality and religion, surrender unto Krishna. This is the verdict of the 18th chapter.
Yeah. Alistair, please read. Alistair, read from another feature. Rajshri or Alistair, if you can read. Yeah, Rajshri.
Another feature of Bhagavad Gita is that the actual truth is the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. The absolute truth is realized in three features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Perfect knowledge of the Absolute Truth means perfect knowledge of Krishna. If one understands Krishna, then all the departments of knowledge are part and parcel of that understanding. Krishna is transcendental, for he is always situated in his eternal internal potency. The living entities are manifested of his energy and are divided into two classes, eternally conditioned and eternally liberated. Such living entities are innumerable and they are considered fundamental parts of Krishna. Material energy is manifested into 24 divisions. The creation is affected by eternal time and it is created and dissolved by external energy. This manifestation of the cosmic world repeatedly becomes visible and invisible. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. And Mr. Reed? Okay, Reynolds, you read. In Bhagavad Gita, Reynolds, we are not able to hear you. Nikhil, read.
In Bhagavad Gita, 5 principal subject matters have been discussed: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, material nature, the living entities, eternal time, and all kinds of activities. All is dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. All conceptions of the Absolute Truth, impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and any other transcendental conception exist within the category of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although superficially the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity, material nature, and time appear to be different. Nothing is different from the Supreme, but the Supreme is always different from everything. Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is that of inconceivable oneness and difference. The system of philosophy constitutes perfect knowledge of the Absolute Truth.
The living entity in his original position is pure spirit. He is just like an atomic particle of the Supreme Spirit. Thus, Lord Krishna may be compared to the sun, and the living entities to sunshine. Because the living entities are the marginal energy of Krishna, they have a tendency to be in contact either with the material energy or the spiritual energy. In other words, the living entity is situated between the two energies of the Lord, and because he belongs to the superior energy of the Lord, he has a particle of independence. By proper use of that independence, he comes under the direct order of Krishna. Thus he attains his normal condition in the pleasure-giving potency. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 18th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of its conclusion, the perfection of renunciation.
May I read translation?
Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjun, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion.
Jai Haribol. Okay, job done now. Job done. That's it. We are through. Job done. 18 chapter 78 verse. Okay, we did it all. Now we are free. No, like generally practicing devotees Most of them generally they chant 16 rounds daily. So rounds meaning in beads, japamala, 16 times they will go through 16 times 108, they will go through the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So it's like, okay, 16 rounds done. I keep the bead and off I go. Now I'm free. I can do whatever. So we have done Bhagavad Gita 78 and now we are free. No, it's not like that. Rather, it's the beginning. Surrender is the beginning. Surrender is not the end. See, now it's like active participation. So this journey of Krishna consciousness is what? To help us go from information level to the level of knowledge. And from the level of knowledge to the level of wisdom. Krishna cannot accept us until and unless we are wise. Krishna is supremely pure. And in order for us, Krishna to accept us, we have to become pure. There's no other way out. And having said that, we can never be fully pure. Uh, it's again a foolishness to think that, okay, one day I will be fully pure and Krishna accept me. Krishna will accept us only out of his kindness, only out of his sweet will. You know, the petition is what to Krishna. Okay, what is more better to tell to Krishna? Yes, Krishna, I become pure. Please accept me, or Krishna, I'm impure. Please accept me. Which is better? This is a question for all of us. Yeah, Phil says we have to petition that we are impure. Yes. It will be irony, foolishness if I walk into the temple room or say, oh, Krishna, I become very pure now. We can never be very pure. Krishna, I become very pure now, so you can accept me. No. In fact, the whole practice is to realize that how fallen am I? How impure am I? How far off am I from Krishna? This is advancement then. When we walk into the temple room or in association of devotees, uh, Zoom or outside of Zoom in personal, whichever capacity, we should be very convinced of wow, how filthy am I? But look, how blessed have I been given this blessing has come about that I'm in the company of such exalted devotees, such exalted personalities. And this has to come genuinely. When now, another question, one might have started practicing Krishna consciousness at the age of 10, some maybe at the age of 20, some at the age of 30, 40, 50. Now, can one actually afford to think, yes, I started practicing at an early age, or I've been practicing from an early age? No, we all are late beginners in Krishna consciousness. Even though someone started from the very young age of 5 year old, but still what? We all are very late beginners in Krishna consciousness. Don't know since when. Purport says, na, eternally conditioned. We all are eternally conditioned. And practicing Krishna consciousness, we cannot afford to have any iota of pride in us. Although, yes, we take pride in the practice of Krishna consciousness, but in our personal effort and capacity, we cannot have afford to have any iota of pride. Ah, because any iota of pride we keep, Krishna will distance himself. Lust is one thing, pride is even more subtle, more heavier. Krishna will easily distance himself. And what pride? Have we got darshan of Krishna? Have we got direct vision of Krishna? No. Have we got like a direct in absolute consciousness? Have we entered? No. And once we enter into absolute consciousness, there will be no pride because without subduing pride altogether, we can never attain absolute consciousness, absolute pride. So it is by acknowledging, firmly acknowledging, realizing, convincing ourselves that I am anything but pure. That will make us pure. Isn't it so a bit paradoxical that impurity is what is making us connect with the Supreme Pure? Wow. In societal terms, purity is what gives us okay connection to someone, right? But here, acknowledging, realizing that I'm completely impure, I'm naked, I'm filthy and all, that puts us, yes, Krishna says, okay, yes, you need me then. So one thing in Krishna consciousness, one thing can say, one thing I'm clearly unsure of. What is that thing? That I do not want to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Look so irony. If I if Am I really convinced that I do not want to become a pure devotee of Krishna? We are very unsure of that. I do not want to. Imagine again, once, say, our session is over, say, or tonight, as you go to bed, and if Krishna walks in the room, hmm, in his three-banded fold, Shyam Sundar, original Shyam Sundar Rupa, with flute in his hand, and feather, peacock feather, and if he comes, walks in the room, and if he says, "Come, let's go," huh? Are we ready? Are we ready? So there is lacking only in our part, not on Krishna's part. Another question comes is reading this translation purport. It mentions something Dhritarashtra, na? So the question is, on whose side is Krishna not? In this war, is he not in the side of Duryodhan, the other party? Is he not in the side of Dhritarashtra, the other party? On whose side is Krishna not? Is he? We see he's on the side of Yudhishthira Maharaj, he's on the side of Arjun. On whose side is he not? He is on everyone's side. Everyone's side. Real question is, am I on Krishna's side? This is a lifelong challenge for us. Am I on Krishna's side? And the translation says, na, such a confirmation for Arjuna, Sanjay saying, directly, indirectly, he is saying, na, wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, Yogeshwara, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Now look, Sanjay is not just saying there will be opulence, victory, and extraordinary power, because in societal terms we see what extraordinary power, opulence, and beauty. All this we see. That there are many people now who have got extraordinary power, very influential, the opulence, and they've never tasted defeat. They're always victorious, high profile contacts, money, all of this. But when we see such percentage generally around the globe, he's a dodgy person. Hmm? He made by unfair means. He must have dodged some taxes. He must have done this. Huh? Morality is not very much there. Huh? He's very competitive. He pulled someone down. All such things. But here, what is Sanjay saying? Extraordinary power, opulence, and beauty, extraordinary this victory and morality. So it is not based on immoral grounds. No, not at all. Krishna is supremely pure. Now we have to become pure. And how do we become pure? The only way to become pure is to acknowledge firmly throughout that I'm anything but pure. And when I'm convinced of this, only then Krishna can accept us. Only then. There's no other way out. Krishna chooses them whom he wants to choose. As simple as that. Krishna only accepts them whom he wants to accept. And the criteria is not to show Krishna a merit card, a card of purity, rather to demonstrate to Krishna that how impure am I. And this doesn't mean that, okay, it gives any license to go and do some nonsense, be some insult and derogatory work and all, and tell Krishna, look, I told you now I'm impure. But even if we do this, even if someone acts wrongly, but tells Krishna, look, Krishna, I told you I'm impure. Look, I told you now, I've proven to you. Yes, then Krishna will actually act. Okay, you want to have this dialogue with me? So then Krishna will purify us. And in this process of purification, the more purified one becomes, the more realizes that how utterly impure is he, how self-obsessed is he, how independent is he, and furthermore on those lines. So here Sanjay is saying Krishna is all truth, supreme truth. See, the basis of this uh, opulence, power, victory, fundamental basis is what? Purity, is truth, is morality. Practicing Krishna consciousness, two things are required. simplicity and honesty. That is what Krishna is asking Arjuna from. Simplicity and honesty. Only that. We humans, we are like a straight zigzag line. We are like a straight zigzag line. And in Hindi se says, no, jalebi ki tarah seedhe. That is how we are. Jalebi ki tarah seedha ekdam. So not that. Simplicity and honesty. Child is simple and honest. And that is what is expected, childlike. And wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is. So now, see this power of association, tremendous power of association. Here, Krishna and Arjuna has done. Look, in lives, we are heavily influenced. Influenced by what? Our samskars, the impressions we carry in our mind from previous lives. Then we are influenced by what? The place where we reside. It tremendously influences our consciousness, our well-being, our thought process, our actioning, our lifestyle, everything. The place where we live. Then what? The time in our phase, in our youth has a different time, growing up has a different time, 40s has a different time, 50s. So the time factor. Also daytime, morning time, evening time, night time, season wise and all. Time plays a huge role. Hmm? So place plays a huge role, time plays a huge role, our subconscious mind plays a huge role, our nature plays a huge role, tremendous huge role. Huh? Then uh, what our company, the association, the people. Now people and also media, things around us, what we hear and all, they tremendously influence our consciousness. And in this, what if we just protect our association, our company, everything will be. Then we could be living in central London, as heavy a place as central London. But if we have got good association, we will be protected. Place is not fine. Time may not be fine. Mind is definitely not fine. Nature is not fine and everything. But if I've got the right company, I can protect myself. I will be protected. So wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjun. Now this is the eternal bond and the friendship Krishna and Arjun. Krishna is never alone. He is always with his devotees, and devotees are also not alone. They are always with Krishna. And wherever there is devotee and wherever there is Krishna, what is bound to come? This is what is bound to come. Morality will be there, opulence will be there, victory will be there, fame will be there, righteousness will be there. There won't be any injustice. Furthermore, everything will be there. Haribol! Sorry, internet got a bit disconnected. So, Haribol! Hare Krishna, hope you are able to hear us. So, thing is, Krishna is the supreme controller. Krishna is the supreme controller, and best is when we let him be the supreme controller. That is best. And this is why na Brajvasis, they let Krishna be the supreme controller. And when we let him be the supreme controller, that is how we can control Krishna. This is how Brajvasis control Krishna, by letting him be as he is, as he likes, as he wants, as he desires. Now Arjuna is able to understand Krishna's desires, and then he can say this. Now this one past and one story, real life story.
Albert Einstein, we all would have heard, scientist Albert Einstein. So he was very busy and busy schedule and everything. Now he was going for a event, a function somewhere to give a talk, some science theory, some science practice and all, to give a talk. And he was driven by his driver chauffeur. uh, I don't know what must be France or Germany or UK, wherever, somewhere in Europe, I believe, wherever he was going driven to a place in event by his chauffeur. So a bit sleepy and all. Hmm. So, the chauffeur and I have to go to this event. I cannot miss this event. Have to give a talk and many designated guests. They have come, many designated guests and all, and everything is set up. But I feel very drowsy, very sleepy, very tired. What to do? So the chauffeur, he said, well, it's simple, easy. I can do the talking on your behalf. Rest, you just be relaxed. Now Einstein says, I'm already anyways very tired, and this is not a good joke, this is not a good time, and not a good sense of humor and all. And this is not making me any good. It's not making. But the driver says, the chauffeur says, no, I'm serious, I mean it. I'm not joking. I'm with you for 30 years. For over 30 years, I've been driving you. So give me this opportunity. I can take you and let me speak. I've listened to so many.
This meeting is being recorded.
Haribol. So he says, what? I've been driving you 30 years altogether, everything. So I can do the talking. I can take you to the event and all. You need not worry at all. So you honestly take a rest. Okay, so I'll end but answer since fine. Okay, let's check it out. Let's try this. Then they swap their dresses and all. He does is a bit make him so that look wise and all. And apparently the place where he went was the first time. Not many have seen him in person like that. So fine, the chauffeur was going and Albert was following him, and he said, "Okay, arrange a seat for my chauffeur also and the driver also." He got to sit in the main arena, the studio where he was giving the talk. So the chauffeur, the driver, went into the stage and he spoke for whatever duration, 30 minutes or an hour, whatever duration. He did the proper talking, the talk on the paper and everything, the proper drill. And now what? Okay, any questions, comments, clarifications? So he was open for questions and he was actually taking the questions. People were asking questions and he was responding to their questions. And people were satisfied with the answers. Even Albert was surprised and satisfied. So two, three questions he asked and people responded four or five, whatever. Then a gentleman asked a question, and that was a real tricky question. That was a real good question, very tricky question, very intelligent question, something out of the box, something out of the paper, something this driver had never come across in his 30 years. Now, what did the driver do? What did he say? Now, even Albert Einstein was like, wow, what a question. He was also very excited. How will he answer? Will he answer? And will he? Now, the driver, what does he say? See, he says, what? He says, oh, it's such a simple and easy question. Your question is very simple. You've just missed a very simple point, just a basic simple point. It seems to be very big, but it's a very simple question. And I've answered already 5, 10 questions. So this is such a simple question. I will let my driver answer. Uh, This question is so simple. You see, my driver, he will bring the simplicity out of this question and he will clear your concept. He will answer. So, Mr. Driver, okay, I'll give you an opportunity. You're my driver, I give you an opportunity. And Albert Einstein then replies to the question and he satisfies the gentleman. See, this is association now. This is the association. This is the company. Look, 30 years he has been driving with him. He picks up. We see na, even in society now the Duke of Edinburgh is he called, or now how is he referred, King or no, Prince Charles or King's? Apologies, I may be referring wrongly, but say the king, he has a driver, sure. Could be a personal private driver, no? Could be driving him from 10, 15, whatever years and all. And generally, it is observed in society that driver and the owner, they become good friends, they become some friends. And people at work, staff, and the boss, they become a friend and all. So, so much so, in pubs you go in UK, Europe, if you go in pubs, you will get all social news or all kind of political news and all. You go in pubs and you fill yourself with such news. And in India, you stand outside any pan shop, any betel nut shop, any shop selling betel nuts and such products, intoxicants, or any tea shop, outside tea shop or in a tea shop, or any papri chart. Not so much maybe papri chart, but any betel nut shop or any tea shop, and you'll get to know what's happening in cricket, what's happening in politics. These two for sure. The shopkeeper, he will tell you what's going on in cricket, who is doing good, who is not doing good, and how should they do, what changes do they need, they don't need any changes, this, that, and all. And the tea seller or the betel nut seller will tell in politics what is going on. Modi is doing this, he shouldn't do that, he should do this party is doing that, this, that, everything. Yeah. Huh. So many people they hear and all. So thing is the power of association, tremendously powerful. The company, they say na, we'll tell you who you are. Just tell us the people you hang out with, the company you keep. Also, na, you are the median or average of the five persons you live with and all. Huh? We are, we become who we live with. We become. In Hindi, they say na, संग का रंग, संग का लगता है रंग. It is a fact. Uh, It affects our consciousness heavily. And this is what the message. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara. Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhutir. Shri is what? Opulence. Vijay, victory. Bhutir, है ना? Exceptional, more this adventure, something beyond. Uh, Dhruva, fixed determination altogether. Certainly, Niti, morality. This is Sanjay giving his opinion. And our opinion, our realization, studying Bhagavad Gita, should it be any different? No. It shouldn't be any different. It should be same or even more. What Arjuna went through, should our emotions be any different? No. Same or even more. Will Arjuna be pleased if we have a even more evolved, say, journey or realizations, or Arjuna experienced goosebumps, no? This hair standing on end. Look, Arjuna experienced hair standing on end at the beginning and at the end. At the beginning was all out of stress. At the end was all out of love. So us also, we should also be experiencing exactly the same, and if not less, we should be experiencing more. And our response should it be any different to Arjuna's response? No. If at all, more than what Arjuna responded. No less. One more real life say, or this, anyone ever missed a flight or a train or a bus? We all might have missed a flight or train or a bus in life, presumably. Now, bus maybe depends. One bus you may miss, another may come. One train you miss, you may take another train, flight also. But say long distance flight, connecting flight, and many things. Now, missing flight is so painful. Huh? Money and travel arrangements, everything involved. Now, what is even more painful? Like you have paid and everything. Hmm? Which is more painful? You missed the flight. Why? Because you were 10 kilometers away from the airport, or you missed the flight because you were by just at the entrance of airport. Which is more painful? At the entrance is more painful, right? Now, which is more painful? You in the you got stuck in the parking in the entrance of plane airport and you missed the flight, or you were at the boarding desk, but the boarding desk closed and you missed the flight. Which is more painful? Boarding. Now, which is more painful? You boarding desk was closed, you missed the flight, or you got the boarding pass, but security was such a huge queue you couldn't manage to clear it. Some complications or something, you had to miss your flight. Which is more dangerous? Painful is security. Which is more painful? You you managed to do the security as well, and inside the lounge, you ended up watching football. There are people, honestly, there are people inside the lounge either shopping or watching football, and they miss the announcements and they realize why. Mm. So, which is more painful? Missing at security or missing inside the lounge watching football? Watching football and missing the flight. More painful. Now, which is most painful? You are in the airport, done the boarding pass, done the security. You're not lounging around as such, but you know which gate it is, and you entered, and they say, "Sorry, sir, gate is closed." The flight is closed, and you see the flight in front of your eyes taking off. You literally see the flight in front of your eyes taking off. Heart shattering, won't it be? Huh? You miss the flight from 10 kilometers, different thing. You cannot see high up in the sky, oh, that's my flight gone. Hmm? You miss the flight at the entrance of airport, okay. Difficult, but still. You miss at boarding pass level, you miss at security, you miss at lounge. Another is what? You are right at the gate. The staff is there, but the plane wings have all closed, and the pilot cannot open it again. And you see the plane going in the runway. You see the plane taking off. Now this should hit us on the face again. Us practicing Krishna consciousness. Now this is not for some outsider. This is not for someone who has not yet found his faith in Krishna, who has not yet found his faith in Bhagavad Gita. But someone who is chanting, someone who has faith, found his faith, someone who has faith in sadhus. Now look, us now practicing Krishna consciousness. Are we not missing our flight? We are missing our flight. And how? In this manner only. Sometimes we are 10 kilometers away from the airport, sometimes 1 kilometer. As in, our flight meaning our transporting ourselves into absolute realm, absolute consciousness in this life itself, living in this material world, but yet not of this material world. That consciousness level. Sometimes we are missing it by 10 kilometers, sometimes by 1 kilometer, sometimes at boarding, sometimes security, sometimes so much so we have entered the airport, but we are busy what? Shopping or football or cricket uh, or duty shops, no? This discount shops and all that. And sometimes so much so that we see the flight. So this is the power of devotee association. Uh, we should respect it. It will be so painful that having such good devotee association and yet not becoming Krishna conscious. It is my fault, no one else's fault, just my fault. And many things could have been done, na? Missing the say by 10 kilometers, could have left a bit early, packing could have been done a bit differently and all. Some things, na? By 1 kilometer boarding pass and all. So some things in life is beyond our control, say circumstances, situations. Okay, I left it advance, I did packing also fine, but still stuck in airport. Tire got flat, whatever, some accident and also. Okay, yes, Krishna is in supreme control. Uh, But us not attaining absolute consciousness, we cannot say, oh, Krishna is in supreme control. Krishna didn't want us. No, no, we cannot say that. Does not Krishna want us to be a pure devotee? He wants us to be a pure devotee. In this life itself, why not? And what is stopping us? Mundane attachments. Huh? Stopping us. What is stopping us? All these worries, concerns, so many grievances or grudges or remorses or guilt we carry in our heart. And for no good reason. No good reason. these much attachments, these many desires, these many attachments, these many hatred, not forgiving, not being kind, not being compassionate, not being tolerant, and what thinking that okay, I'm good, I'm alright. It's such a curse to think I'm good, I'm alright, I'm fine. Such a blockage, such a curse. Yeah. So all this is really stopping. So association is the key again. Yatra Partha Tarnodara. Yogeshwar, the master of all mystics. Yogeshwar, who is the Ishwar of yoga, who is the supreme you controller altogether. So what is difficult for Krishna? Nothing is difficult for Krishna. The only thing which is difficult for Krishna is what? Getting our attention. That has become a little bit of a task for him as such. Although it does not overwhelm him because he is not at all materially attached or with us. He is completely spiritually and he wants us to be spiritually engaged altogether, not materially engaged. Uh, Enough since eternity we have been asking from God, but we have never asked for God. We have been asking from Krishna, but what have been we been asking? Matter only, temporary life. We have never asked for eternity from Krishna. That thing which he really wants to give. He wants to give us that. That we never ask until and unless we have a devotee association. Real divine intervention is when devotee intervenes in our life. That is real divine intervention. When devotees come in our life, then all Krishna consciousness comes about. And this is what Sanjay is trying to help us understand. Arjuna is an eternal devotee of Krishna. Na? Uh, Krishna and Arjuna, they are eternal associates. And wherever they are eternal associates, this is what will happen. Now, if I can also transport myself to eternity, and it's not like, okay, see, now one may say there will be opulence, victory, but will it be moral? No, moral as well. Okay, it could be moral, but will it be bringing me auspiciousness, good fortune, and fame and all? Yes, it will bring you that. It will free us all together from all obstacles or bondages and whatever is holding us behind. Okay, on this note, I'll take a pause if there are any questions, comments, clarifications, or say ideas. You all have been a very good, uh, say, facilitators. Definitely, throughout, you have kept my job quite easy, relaxed, simple, not disturbing me with many questions throughout. So, yeah, that's helpful. So, but the charm is in question and answers. The charm. And yesterday we were discussing now in Krishna consciousness we have to give up this quantification mentality, calculation mentality, counting and all. Definitely. See in Srimad Bhagavatam we see what Parikshit Maharaj he was given 7 days only. Yeah. He was he was prophesied to die in 7 days out of a curse. Such many great things come out of a curse, is it not? Parikshit Maharaj, such a great thing happened out of a curse. Even Arjuna, na, out of this curse, say, cursing himself, or out of this conflict, such a came a beautiful thing. So in life also, when we struggle and all, if we are Krishna conscious, if we are good devote, if we have got good devotee association, then hindsight will make sense, present will make sense, future will be all glorious. So Parikshit Maharaj, he was cursed, and what? He had only 7 days to live. Now, in those 7 days, he did not drink anything, he did not eat anything, barely slept. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Uh, Barely slept. Sukdev Goswami, barely slept, no drinking. The audience in there, no drinking, no eating, barely slept. So, in order for us to dive into Krishna consciousness, go deep, we have to go give up or go beyond this mundaneness of eating, sleeping, defending mating altogether. Otherwise, we won't get the mysticism, the charm, and in this practice of Krishna consciousness overall. And throughout in this process, Parikshit Maharaj again, it did not strike his consciousness, though that I am a king. But look, one day I have not eaten anything. See, for us, does it not come one day when we do more than 16 rounds? Well, I did more than 16. Yeah. Wow. I've been managing to do daily more than 16 rounds. All this, no? But for him, did he ever think, well, it's been more than 24 hours, I did not drink, I did not eat. I'm a king generally, and since I have some managed such great sense control, no, it was not at all calculating. So bhakti will begin when we stop calculating, when we stop quantifying. But if we are stuck up with quantifying and calculating, then we will become a bhakta accountant, which Krishna does not want. Hmm? This is what Krishna says in 1854. Give up this counting and all mentality. And now see, like all the verses, they are very transcendental. In this 245, Krishna says, na, Trigunya Visayaveda Nistrigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvanda Nitya Satvasto Niryoga Shematmavan. Be satisfied in the self. Be free from this desire for gain and safety. Hmm? Be free from self obsession. And Nitya Satvasta means what? Eternally associate yourself in good devotee association. So we have to free ourselves from this quantification that I can listen for 2 hours, I can speak for 2 hours, I can read for 2 hours, I can sit down and chant for 2 hours. I don't do walking japa. I can sit and in one go I do all my rounds. Then Krishna will be saying, okay, you are a bit, when you come out of this certificate thing, then you can have an interview with me. So, in the entire practice of Krishna consciousness, we have to qualify ourselves to prove our unqualifiedness. That is the qualification. We have to become certified unqualified. The day we become certified unqualified, Krishna will be interested in us. And until and unless we become certified unqualified, Krishna won't have any direct interest. His energies won't let us come in. So this is what now we saw some videos to help build our faith, to help understand spirituality is real and is very much required. It is for our benefit and furthermore. uh, and it is all by grace. Sanjay is speaking by grace. Arjuna is receiving by grace, by mercy. We are also now living, existing by grace. Can any one of us claim to take the next breath? No. All by grace. All by grace. So birds fly as high as their wings allows them to, right? Cars go as far as the petrol the engine allows it to, right? Huh? Us, we will go as deep or as high in our Krishna consciousness as the association we take. Our association is allowing us to, but are we taking association in that light, in that mood? This is the thing. So the message in Krishna consciousness is again ultimately simplicity and honesty. I will share one saying. I find it very very tough, very lethal. It shakes me up actually. It gives me it puts me into check. It puts me into check. See, 1866 Krishna says na sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshasami masucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will free you from all sinful reactions. Do not worry. A slight different way, perhaps I'm trying to help just myself understand, educate in this. Another way how I see this is this saying and see what character. Character is what you do when you think no one is looking. Character is what we do when we think no one is looking. Character is what we think When we think, no one is looking, or even someone present, but what we are thinking. Acting is a bit gross. Acting is a bit gross, na? It can be seen, it is tangible, na? Action. More subtle than acting is what? The desire, the thought. So one thing, character is what we do when we think no one is looking. No one is watching. Mom is not here. Dad is not here. Friends are not watching. And all. Character is what we do when we think no one is looking. Even stronger or heavier is what? Character is what we think that okay, no one can read my mind. And what I think. Krishna is watching us throughout. So that is Krishna saying, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Give up this nonsense business of yours, of duality, hmm, of independent duality. Become one with me in unity, in desire, in quality. Then see. So in our thought, this has to go very deep in our thought, more than in our action, in our desire. There should be no separation of interest. And this is Krishna consciousness is the activity of a gentleman, a gentle person altogether, of a simple and honest gentle person. Complete reformation of character. So the message of Krishna consciousness is what? It is simple to be happy, but difficult to be simple. Check this out. It is simple to be happy, but difficult to be simple. Or it is simple to be happy, but difficult to be humble. One who has become humble, Krishna has no problem with him. No problem, none whatsoever. None whatsoever. So tomorrow we'll definitely address the question. Again, the question being, what is it which is an asset in material life, but it is a curse in pure spiritual life in Krishna consciousness? And thank you very much for your active participation, encouragement, tolerance, and keeping up. And honestly, genuinely very grateful, very blessed. And throughout this journey, of course, I must have hurt someone. Some things might have come out of this filthy mouth, which might have disturbed or upset someone. But it is too late. But it is too late now. Not much can be done. I must say this much. What is said is said. Not much can be done. No, but no, jokes apart. Thank you for encouraging, inspiring, and blessing us in Krishna consciousness. And again, yes, I'm sure I would have said something which might have disturbed or hurt you. So, yeah, please forgive us and pray for us. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.